Hello, everyone. We're doing a second attempt of recording for the Mario 3D All Stars video. What ended up happening was, oh god damn it, Tom fucking texted. How annoying. Anyways, um, we were trying to record for the 3D All Stars video, but my fucking recording program decided to not pick up my mic's requirements in order for it to record properly. So you could hear everybody else, but not me. So today we're gonna redo this. I'm Louie. With me are my co-host Red, Kaya, Ultra, who's a new person joining in here, and Rin. Introduce yourselves.
Yo, my actual name.
Hey, yo, it's your boy Skinny Penis. What's up, dude? I'm a rapper, and I do some good
This
stuff.
is already a
good
mistake.
Alright. Cut the recording.
Shit, I'm pretty close.
Me sitting here acting myself like, hey guys, my name's Ultra. I'm a new guy here, and it'll be a pretty good time with everybody else here. You know, I've been friends with these guys for plenty of years now, so we pretty nice, pretty cool, pretty chill. Then we got this fucking guy over here. This fucking guy.
Yeah.
Somebody's a rapper.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Ultra's pretty cool and all. He's also an avid Jotaro dick sucker.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. You know, you need my help, okay? I don't need your help, alright? I could just push this fucking disconnect button and go whoop you somewhere else, alright?
But you won't do that though.
Damn, he betrayed a female.
It'd be like that, bro.
He's becoming a non-simp.
Oh, but he came back and
Oh my
wanted to
fucking
know.
god. You know, in the editing, I definitely have to edit it so it just ends there, but then it just goes back.
What you want to do it though? But
I gotta put a 1 hour later mark on screen.
all
I'm definitely gonna have fun editing this one.
There goes the episode.
Oh my god. So today, like I mentioned before, we're gonna be talking about Mario 3D All Stars, but we're also gonna be talking about HD ports, ports in general. We can even bring in remasters count as well, right? Because they're just kind of ports most of the time, with some touch-ups.
Yeah, but ironically enough, a lot of people specifically don't say that. If I may
Why?
begin with that,
Yeah, go ahead.
the entire idea of ports, remasters, and remakes have been skewed because many people have different, definitions of them, and essentially this can be for either games or movies or shows or anything else like that. Anything can have an ability to be made once again, either for entertainment purposes or for quality or for preservation or something else like that. And with video games, it's been extremely difficult to tell specifically what is what anymore. And because a lot of companies, they will advertise stuff which either it may not be the case or it might just be a complete sham or lie or whatever. It just depends on what you're talking about. Like, if you want me to be specific, the Dragon Ball Z orange brick sets that everyone buys, those little cheap $2-3 VHS clips that you can get of Dragon Ball Z,
Oh, they're not
entire
cheap, man.
series,
They're
from season
fucking
one
pretty
to- okay,
pricey.
well, they used to be. They used to be when Funimation was literally filling up the entire market of nothing but ways to buy this old anime, and nothing seemed to be correct. But essentially what happened is that the orange bricks, they used to be affordable and the most common ways to buy the game. Them shits are fucking ugly, okay? They're probably the worst way to watch that show, okay? It's they have lower quality audio for Japanese. They don't have a proper, aspect ratio because everything had to be widescreen because it was 2006 and everything was getting futuristic TV. Despite the fact that this anime was animated in 1989 to 1996, 16:9 was not a ratio back then. And to clarify, 4:3 ratio is like a box. If you play Mario 1 or something else like that, you get the box. And then you have 16:9 ratio, which is the rectangle. If you're playing Mario Odyssey, you see it in a rectangle. It fills up your entire TV. That's the difference. Ultra, please remember this, okay? but it's like in particular, like take for example, there are a few things like Shadow of the Colossus has received both a remake and a remaster. It was a PlayStation 2 game, and it is considered one of the landmark titles in all of gaming, considering how its scope and what you do, etc. You know, watch our friend play it. It seemed pretty funny to watch her fuck around, but whatever. It's like it got a remaster on the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 was home to a lot of PlayStation 2 remastered games. Sometimes they were good, other times they were a complete mess, either for sound issues or visual glitches or something else like that. If you want to talk about how bad ports can be, just talk to someone who's a fan of Jack and Daxter, and they'll tell you immediately what the hell is going on.
Yeah, PS4 port was not good at all. I was considering buying it at some point, and then I watched the reviews, and I'm like, how can they do this to my baby?
But Shadow of the Colossus received a remaster for the PS3, and apparently it was riddled with all sorts of bugs. Apparently there was collision detection issues all over the place, considering the fact that you have to climb up these giant things in order to destroy them. But if you can't do that, then that just kind of ruins the whole focal point of the game. If you can't do that, then literally what's the point? People found a lot of issue with this back when it was released in the PlayStation 3. I've seen a lot of videos of people comparing and contrasting the essential versions of what they have, and it's honestly very interesting to see like how they messed up the game, considering the fact that it's like one of the core features. So why mess it up, or how could you mess it up, I should say. But essentially, on the PlayStation 4, it was actually free for PS Plus a few months back. It got a from the ground up remake on the PlayStation 4, and from what I've seen, I don't think the collision detection issues are there. I think the only ones that are initially there were ones that were made from the original game, but everything seems fine and cool. However, yes.
Let me just say, that was like a year ago when it came out for PS Plus.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Now? I don't remember it.
No, that was this that was this year, because it was like free. Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces were free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Like getting it this year, practically a year ago.
Well, aren't they? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising
Because
if
Sonic
PlayStation
Forces
up
was
like
only
that.
out
Wait,
for like a couple months.
no. It was because that was when I first got my PlayStation 4, and that was March of this year. Okay, I've honestly been losing track of time. Everything is just kind of blending in together. But to continue what I was saying, nobody really knew the difference until they actually played the goddamn thing, because all of them were just labeled Shadow of the Colossus. It wasn't HD, it wasn't remake or master. It was just Shadow of the Colossus, all caps. Nobody really knew what the hell was actually going on, and it was actually
I gotta
pretty
bring this up real
annoying.
quick. It's a side thing, but can we please stop fucking labeling shit? Like, this is an old point, but can we please stop labeling shit that's like a remake or, a sequel to something as the name of the franchise and just that? I'm looking at you, God of War. For God's sakes, you're the fourth game in the entry. Please address it as the fourth game of the entry. Don't address it as just God of War.
Hey, yo, Louis, I would
God
say
of War
only
remix.
name it the original name if it's a complete reboot of this franchise.
Yeah, and that's the thing about God of War. It's not a complete reboot. If anything, it's a soft reboot, but it's still a continuation. The only thing that's soft reboot related is the fact that it takes place after the events of 1, 2, and 3, and also Ascension and Ghost of Sparta and all the other shit. But the point still stands is that could you please stop labeling shit like that? It's annoying as fuck. Like, I think, I understand that there's also labeling shit for, like, simply as that if it's a reboot. Like, look at Spider-Man. Yeah, it's annoying that it's Spider-Man, but let's be honest, who the fuck's asking for Spider-Man PS1 and at GameStop at the moment?
That's why people either give it years, and to be fair, it's more of a technicality, but Spider-Man PS4 is labeled as Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So people refer it as that, and that's just
And it
whatever.
does
But
combine the great
most
elements
people in the world don't do that for obvious reasons, considering the fact that it's kind of like the same reason why you don't look at at a certain game where it's just like, oh hey, like literally any game where it's like Disney's DuckTales, it's like, no, it's DuckTales on NES. I don't care about the subtitle.
Yeah, and like it's annoying. It's annoying because it's just like it's, for me, like I said, the reason why it's annoying for me is because like you can encounter somebody asking for God of War, but then they'll be like, which one you want then, and it's like They normally I would be like, oh well, then just simply say the number, but like now you have to really specify what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And that's really fucking obnoxious. I'm really getting tired of like companies constantly doing that shit. Can you just simply name it a subtitle? It doesn't matter if it's basic or generic. Just the fact that you bothered to even put a subtitle to differentiate one from the other, which again, like you said, the technicality of Marvel's Spider-Man, it's fine, it's better. That's at least something they tried. I mean, Spider-Man Miles Morales, at least they named it Miles fucking Morales. That I can say on the stores, like, can I get Spider-Man Miles Morales? Simple as that. Or I could just say Miles Morales. Simple as that.
Well, I guess we can talk about the most annoying thing in recent times, being Yakuza Like a Dragon, which the game series, at least in Japan, it was already called Like a Dragon. So is it called Like a Dragon, Like a Dragon?
Yeah,
so like
it's the same thing as Resident Evil and
Like a
Biohazard.
Dragon, like,
Yeah,
what?
it's because Resident Evil 7 is called Biohazard, but Biohazard is the name of the franchise in Japan.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100%
So
sure
it's
what that was gonna
just
do.
Biohazard.
Like, that would have made sense if it was like the 90s and people didn't really have access to the internet, or like, you know, more thing. It's like more of like, hey, did you know? Gaming fact number 112. You know, but no, it's like in America, and you can see exactly when stuff is coming out in the States, even previews or demos, or people just pirating it or taking it off the internet. We have ways to, like, you know, experience stuff in the West, but somehow in, you know, in other countries, but somehow that doesn't really make most things any better, to be honest.
I would just say that is like a major problem with localization, names being different, because they just want to add something cool. But sometimes it counteracts with other stuff. But like in Japan, it still goes by just Like a Dragon. America is just like, oh yeah, so Yakuza Like a Dragon, not Yakuza 7, not Like a Dragon 7. Frick, it's bullshit.
Like
It's the same way as how Dragon Quest used to be called like Dragon Warrior.
I remember that.
Yeah, but that wasn't that just because it was a American thing. They just named it that shit. Just like how I mean, it's the same thing as over here. Like, they called the Demon Castle Dracula, obviously for a good reason, because it sounds fucking stupid. Once you do the direct translation, they changed it to Castlevania.
Like, let's say you're trying to get the OG Dragon Quest 1, and you never knew that was originally called Dragon Warrior.
Also, ready to go even deeper into like your whole Like a Dragon thing. Okay, so there, like you just said, it still just goes by Like a Dragon. Okay, so are you talking about Like a Dragon on the PlayStation 2, or are you talking about it on the PlayStation 3/Wii U, or are you talking about the new game?
That's the shit that I was talking about.
Okay, it's like, once I get a new Wii U, I'm gonna play the ports on the Wii U and tell you how it feels. It's probably gonna feel funky as hell.
Wait, it got ported to the fucking Wii U?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, only in Japan. It didn't get like an American port, but I remember hearing about that a while ago, and
That
it's
is
just like, what is this?
That's fucking weird. A fucking port of that game on the Wii U of all things.
And seeing how rabid some Yakuza, well, I would say modern Yakuza fans are now for the games to be put on like the Switch or something, they'll probably see that and be like, why? Why didn't this not succeed? And I'm just like, well, y'all weren't there before. Now y'all are now.
Yeah. What's weird? What? Fucking rabid.
It's a rabid modern Yakuza fans. What, they're like Persona 5 fans?
Wait, Ultra. Are you talking about the guys who get pissed if you make a small Yakuza meme?
So no, I'm talking about like the people who like quite literally only played either Yakuza 0, Kiwami, only either through the Steam re-releases or Xbox Game Pass.
I should have bought it on PS4 because I know for a fact it'll probably take a toll out of my computer because I gotta
still despise Xbox Game Pass.
But I bought 0 on my computer. I gotta complete that thing.
Yeah, it's like I've been seeing on the Game Pass, at least the comments for like Yakuza 0 on like the Xbox in general. And they're just like, yeah, this is a good game. I can't wait for the rest of the series to come on Game Pass. And it's just like, oh, so you didn't buy it. No, I played it on Game Pass. And it's just like, but you didn't
buy it.
Yeah,
you didn't buy it.
Yeah,
if you're only playing it via Game Pass, that's not enough support for the developers that continuously want to make more.
Yeah, they're looking for people to, buy the games, which is why, as it stands right now, I don't see the Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remasters coming anywhere else, other than like what Steam. So they don't have nothing like that.
And
Like,
can I just say,
God, I gotta scratch my. I mean,
Xbox-
scratch my beard.
Xbox is like hella stingy for wanting to release Yakuza 7 in America on their console first.
yeah, because
It's a completely different gameplay style, and your people barely even have all the games. They're going to probably get turned off.
Give me a quick second. I'm gonna be right back. Keep talking. I'm gonna go fucking film.
what did he just say?
He
Give
said
me a
he
quick
was
second. Be right back. I'll keep talking. I'm gonna,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
I
again.
gotta
Like-
fill up this water, dog.
Let's be real. Xbox people, they don't really like this type of stuff. They're more into action-based games, basketball shooters.
Uh,
Like you said like that.
but
in Halo.
what you say, I like 100%.
Halo.
agree.
Okay, so
Halo.
okay, Halo. Those
Hold on.
I would
And
not
a tiny
associate.
pin.
I would not associate Halo fans with
Oh,
Xbox
yeah,
niggas. Xbox niggas are
I
like,
would like
you
to,
go to the house and all they got is like every edition of 2K and nothing else.
Wait, with a dash of Gears of War.
I would like to say, Jesus Christ, alright. Fuck. I almost forgot what I was going to say. I was like to say, yes, Red, I 110% agree with you and what you just said about them trying to get it released on their thing first. It's not fair. I played the demo on my Japanese account just so I could experience it. Because it's already released in Japan on the PS4 first. So it would be fair if, what is the question?
It's a Japanese account named Jotaro Kujo, but it's an actual kanji.
No. It's
Sure.
named Ada Arayoshi.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly
Are
what
you
it's
trying to
like.
comfort him, Mark One?
Yeah.
He's trying, but he just failed very hardly anyway. But as I was saying, especially I think they're trying to do it because they think that since it's like a whole different character, a whole different storyline, that we get this on Xbox first, we can have like our own, Yakuza Revelation, when that's not the case. In fact, there are so many reoccurring characters that you might as well just release them on the PlayStation first. Especially since, I guess I should say spoilers for those who played Yakuza 6 and know how that ends. Kazuma comes back as like Terry Prez
Claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife.
under a different name, as like some sort of like Secret Service-esque character that passes on his title of dragon to the new protagonist Ichiban through a boss fight. He's also a summon in the game.
So I miss-
Ultra. To stop
Yeah.
you for a quick second, my final thing I have to say: Xbox fans aren't fans of single-player games. When you talk about a PS4, no, any PlayStation first-party game, they'll be like, "But it's single-player. Why would I want to buy that?"
I
This is
would.
the main problem.
This is where I'm going to say I'm gonna disagree, but only slightly, because I remember when The Witcher 3 boom really started because of the Netflix show. All my brother's
Yeah,
friends,
everybody started acting like they were
Oh,
Witcher fan
yeah.
out of thin air.
yeah, everybody was on it. And I was just like, firstly, 90 to 80% of the people in the world didn't really like The Witcher 1. When The Witcher 2 came out, it was kind of niche, but the people who did play it, they loved it. I played it, I didn't like it too much. My brother played it, he instantly fell in love with it, but he never beat it.
What the fuck? Okay, so I played The Witcher 1 because of GOG fucking releasing the remaster version of it for free. And I played it, and it's like, it fucking plays weird, to say the least.
So just like, when it comes to,
So how
I'll
does
say-
2 play?
I say when it comes to Xbox, I would say they like single player games. It's just that it has to be a big bad name of a single player game like Fallout 4 or the next upcoming Cyberpunk. It has to be big. Yakuza has never really been big, but even with like the memes, it's still not big and bad, because I can still go like, my favorite Yakuza game is like Yakuza 3 or Yakuza 6. Those are at least my two personal favorites. And
I
it's
can
like,
understand that, but like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really just a forced drag to get them to play it. They'll like it if they'll play it, but like their initial impressions are like. And this is just from like the majority that you see talk about on the internet. Not like the normal people, just the majority you see normally on the internet.
And on top of that, it's just like, I've been for years, and when I say years, I mean like when Yakuza 4, because like, okay, here's another alternative. Just real quick, an alternative. If you do not feel like buying Yakuza the remaster collection, get you a free trial of PlayStation Now, because Yakuza 4 and 5, the original versions of PS3, fully playable. I played both of those games on that just fine. All right, it kind of literally depends on your internet connection. Blame your internet for why that thing doesn't work properly for you, not the service. Anyway, what I was
But
trying
yeah,
to,
we were playing fighting games on that perfectly fine too.
Wait,
yeah,
hold on. Okay, so I do want to say something. So, out of everyone here, I'm like the only one who actually owns Mario All Stars. My sister bought it because she was extremely excited to play the game. I'm internally freaking out right now because Mario Sunshine has been a game since that I've been playing for a very, very long time. Like ever since I was like maybe 3 or 4, and I'm playing through a lot of these missions, which I realized that like gave me so much shit when I was younger, and I realized that it's like, wow, when you get older, a lot of these are just extremely fucking easy. Holy shit. This game isn't like, it's like super easy, I'll say, but it's like, wow, I spent a really long time on a lot of these levels trying to figure out and navigate what the hell I was doing wrong. And then a lot of them I'm just kind of doing first try, like the blooper mission that I've seen countless YouTubers fail, and like a bunch of other stuff. And it's just like, wow, this, this is honestly crazy. But I'm having fun. I love this game, and I don't understand why everybody
What
thinks
the
it's like
fuck's
the worst
going
game
on
ever.
there?
it's kind of
Yo,
What
who's
you-
talking with the utensils?
Rin, he's cooking chicken again.
I
And
know.
Damn
I'm
child
washing
messing with the
dishes.
pots and pans again.
you will always be cooking chicken in my eyes. I guess I can understand what you come from, well, from a completely different like standpoint, like Sonic 06. You already know my sense of game. I like that game. I think it's one of the best Sonic games. Because only because I've been playing apparently a different version of the game when I met you all, and like y'all explained to me why the PlayStation 3 version of that game was so different, and I was just like, oh, but
Yeah.
then there came like the magical time, and here's what I never mentioned. There came like the magical time where I did play it again on the Xbox 360. It was just fine.
Yeah.
Like there were some things like I didn't like. Okay, I would say this personally. I experienced a lot more slowdowns on the Xbox 360 version than I did on the PS3 version.
Yeah.
But I still played the game just fine. I still found the snowboarding to suck, but other than that,
It's lame, but it's way too short to even really care.
Okay, so the thing
Yeah.
is, the snowboarding sucks because they didn't have a good way for it to control, and the physics of it's fucked. But like Red said,
Thank you, Havoc Engine.
yeah, but if there's one, like Red said, the good thing is that it doesn't last that long for you to be bugged by it.
Yeah. The only thing that I am bugged by something else that doesn't last very long. Aqua Base playing at silver.
Ooh,
The ball thing? Do you know what I'm talking about? The ball made of
Yeah,
mercury?
it's like I don't know what it is. It's a 2D object or 3D object. I don't know what the hell it is, but it looks weird.
I think it's
Yeah.
just the way it's textured, because I think it's a 3D object, but just like textured so it can look like it constantly has like reflections all over it.
I will say though, I will give Sega Forever credit. So that is the shiniest thing in all of video game existence. I have
Yeah,
never
it
seen
is.
anything more shiny.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be that much of a competition for that though.
I understand what you mean. Like when I get my hands on like that collection, I'll let you know if I have any problems. But I see what you mean. Just like, oh yeah, a lot of people keep complaining about this game. It's just like it's not really that hard. But is it not really that hard because you're an avid Mario player? We all know this. I know this.
I mean,
Uh,
I played Sunshine.
Okay, it's just like here's the thing. It's just like I'm waiting for the jank to kick in because Rin has sent me a lot of clips of this game, either like fucking about like people have been clipping through the floor while they're trying to get their shines. People have been like fucking Mario has been known to die in the middle of getting some of them. I have no idea what the hell this is. Either it's a port issue or maybe they just got extremely unlucky because I have never seen the ports. It's kind of like the whole thing with like Sonic Adventure DX. Everybody thinks that that's a miserable port, and it's like I've been playing that. Sonic Adventure is my first Sonic game and one of my first few actual video games. I've never seen any of the glitches. One of the most infamous ones comes from Game Grumps. Fucking sir, Eagle Raptor, Aaron was running through the loop of Emerald Coast, and then he stopped moving, and then like it sent him down, and then it sent him back up, and everything was just a complete mess. Laughs like ensued, but it's just like I was sitting there wondering, it's like I've never seen this in my life. I've been playing
Huh.
this game for
I
like
could.
and it's just like I figured it out. The reason why he glitched out in the loop was because he stopped moving. That is not the game's fault. Who the fuck told you to stop moving in a loop? Has anybody seen the Simpsons movie?
Yeah.
I have, but
Fucking
my
like
memory of it's
there's
so
a
fuzzy.
scene where it's like he gets a motorcycle because they're trying to escape Springfield because everybody thinks that Homer like did everything because he did. He drove like a car into like the water and it became tar, and like this fucking evil government guy tried to take over everything. It was a very weird movie. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know
if
what
I
the
hit it or
hell was
not.
their. I don't know
I-
what their. I don't know what the fuck their message was supposed to be for that movie.
I don't
That
think
movie was a fever dream.
But,
I think they wanted to make an environmental message, but at the end of the day, like it's just The Simpsons, so I just took it as like it's just a very long but okay Simpsons episode. I thought it was a fine movie. I thought funny, like maybe my opinion will change now, but from what I am remembering of the movie, but yeah, I laughed at it.
I don't remember
But,
it too much, to be honest.
But basically, the point I'm trying to make is that there's a scene where it's like he has to get a motorcycle, and the entire like joke of it is that every single time he gets to the top, he stops going, and then the entire point of the scene is supposed to be like him learning that like, hey, just keep going, and fucking Jesus takes the wheel, and then that's what happens, and it's like it kind of felt like that. It's just like he stopped moving. And then he's like, "Oh my god, this game is so funky." And then there was like another time where he was in Final Egg and he clipped through the floor, and it's like, "Wow, I've never seen that happen." Okay, look, if I'm going to be honest with you, the only glitch that I've ever seen happen to me personally was like fighting Egg Viper, and he just kind of fucking, decides to not work. Like sometimes he'll just be sitting there, and then like he just kind of fucking.
I've encountered a lot of glitches.
He like it's like you're trying to like get to him, and then you just kind of clip through the platformer. It's like he sees you can make it through here, and then most of the time you can't make it through here because the game just kind of fucks you over. Like I've seen stuff like that happen. I've experienced that, so it's like yeah, sometimes like the sport can't be the greatest, but it's just like a lot of the times they were talking about like how it has such game breaking bugs and how it's literally unplayable. It's like what are you talking about?
I've played.
Okay, I was no. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Thanks.
This-
I don't know why I said it that way.
Thanks.
Whoa, slow down there, Mr. Politician. We're a fucking small podcast.
Look, man, we have to do it this way. If we don't do it the right way again, I'm gonna have to fire you, and it's gonna be over. Okay?
The fuck
Okay,
is
Ben.
How are
that?
you
But-
not fired?
I have
But,
a bleeding arm.
But let's talk about the same game. But let's talk about the regular version of the game, no DX, because you had to pay for that version of the game on the Xbox 360.
That shit was Garbo.
It was, and I like to talk about two glitches. One glitch still pertains even in the PlayStation 3 version, but this glitch, I swear to God, is only exclusive to the Xbox 360 version of that game. Emerald Coast, like you said before, it's not that. In fact, this glitch has everything to do with moving. Sometimes on Emerald Coast, and by sometimes I mean once it happens, restart your game because it's going to keep happening. Do you know like the weird like
Damn.
running segment in like the very narrow like slope that's going down, leading to the loop, the slope. I said the slope. The
Yeah.
loop. Sonic, if you keep moving, if you move fast enough, he'll fall right through that,
I've seen that.
and it will keep happening if you do not reset your game.
Because
Even
when we were racing, okay, because context, Ultra Ren and I were racing through Sonic Adventure, and he was streaming the PlayStation 3 version of the game as well as Ren. They were using PS Now, wasn't PS Now, which is literally the game. I saw that happen. It's like, wow, it's crazy. Because I own the game on PS3, and that shit. Actually,
I don't know why.
In the moment, I can't remember like if that happened to me.
I don't
or
know
not.
why
If
you
it did,
sound
it
so
probably could be, like,
insincere for that one moment, like insincere. You were like, wow, that's like crazy. I know that's not your intention, but it just sounds like it.
Sorry.
No, no, it's fine, but it sounds like that. I was gonna say, when it comes to me and the glitches with Sonic, like DX, like, I've had a lot of glitches, but it mostly came from like the final part, which is Egg Viper, not for the rest of the game, because nothing really has bugged me for the rest of the game. Like, I've never really like that glitch that Ultra and Rin had. That shit didn't happen to me. Maybe that's because you installed the mod in my computer, but like for the most part my shit wasn't acting up. It was only in the Egg Viper where all my hits were just not registering, and I was doing it exactly like the game wanted me to, and every single time I was close to beating him, I either got fucked over by clipping through the floor or being knocked on my ass, and it's
So-
usually from bullshit attacks that it shouldn't have hit me.
But it's like I
Oh.
will say, it's just like when people say Sonic Adventure DX is a bad port, they usually say the GameCube version. It's like what? That's like the version that I own. It's like I haven't watched like the newest Cyber Shell video, but I assume I don't know if he's gonna talk about the GameCube version or not. If he talks about the PS3 version, I'm gonna be so happy because it's like that's the one that's funky. I remember like Gerard the completionist. He made a video on Sonic Adventure. He's like, yeah, a lot of glitches happen to me, but that's not the game itself. That's the actual Xbox 360 PS3 port. So don't buy this version if you're actually gonna play the game. And yes, don't. If you're gonna get any version, Sonic Adventure, either settle with the GameCube version, try to get a Dreamcast version, or objectively speaking, get the PC version.
If I recall, got
That shit goes on sale for like $2 every week.
I think Cybershell was talking about the like just a composite version of it, like just like all versions in general, and not necessarily like the glitches themselves, just more of the changes that he didn't like.
Yeah, because there was a lot of stuff that they changed, which could be for the worse, for the better. For me personally, the only changes that I'm aware of, like different voice clips have been
excuse me.
changed, and stuff like voice lines. I much prefer the DX version of those lines. I'm just gonna say that. Like I remember I was in the second tornado stage, and Tails and Sonic were having their conversation. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was just something about Tails just didn't sound right. It wasn't like, what Husey says, where he's like, so far, so good. Sonic is like, I hope you know what you're doing. By the way, if nobody knew this, I can replicate the entirety of Sonic's story by heart. I've played that game way too much times, and I just remember like everything everybody's gonna say, and it's honestly super embarrassing. But I love that game. Sonic Adventure is my favorite game of all time, probably. I still need to think about that, considering the fact that like I'm not 100% sure if I could pick a favorite one. Before I was like, oh, it's Odyssey, and it's like, I mean, no, Odyssey is like favorite Mario game until I play Galaxy 2 again. But fucking I love Mario Sonic Adventure. It's my favorite Sonic game, and until I think about it more enough, it's my favorite game of all time.
Transitioning real quick, I want to also say, I think you remember where we was racing Sonic Adventure. Me and you were both Egg Viper, and I just kept falling through the floor.
Yeah, it was honestly it's like one of the most depressing things I've heard, because it's like it used to be me, but not because of glitches. I'm not 100% sure. No, it was because of glitches, because the GameCube version did fuck with me. Also because of the fact that I just didn't know how the boss worked, because I was
wanna-
like fucking what 8 when I got there. Holy shit! Like the journey to beat a bunch of GameCube games, like for in my eyes, like it took a long fucking time, because it's like take for example, I got Paper Mario 1000 Year Door about like maybe 2 or so years after the game came out in 2004, when the Wii wasn't out yet. But I didn't beat that game until I was like 11. I was like fucking 2. Okay, I was like 4 or 5 when like when I got 1000 Year Door, and it wasn't until I was like 11 where I beat that game, because I primarily just kept beating the first 2 chapters. I beat fucking Hooktail and fucking I forgot what the hell it was, the machine that fucking what the hell is his name? Ren, do you remember like the guy who keeps chasing you the entire time? The guy who's like the first boss in 1000 Year Door.
Hell no.
It's like I unfortunately don't remember his name, despite no. Okay, let me stop playing Sunshine and actually do my fucking research. I'm sounding like an idiot. I know his name, I just can't remember it at the moment, and it's freaking me the fuck out.
I wanted to transition into something else real quick, from this port of Sonic to a port of Mega Man, and specifically
love the
port
fact
that
that this is
everybody
a game.
calls garbage, and I really, really, really want to test that, and I really want to challenge it because I don't remember it being. I remember myself being trash at the game,
Lord Crumb, that's his name.
but the ports of Mega Man's 1 through 8 on the Xbox 360, as far as I know, the 20
It was the original Xbox.
no, I know, but I played on it because it was compatible, so I'm
Oh,
always
okay.
gonna just recognize it as that.
Alright.
So,
Oh,
What did you say, Kai?
so
that was like the original Xbox. Oh.
Yeah.
My cousin owns that shit.
So everyone calls that collection, like at least nowadays, as far as the trash, because the game apparently has like so much delay that all the games are practically unplayable. I, for one, cannot like confirm or deny if there was literally delay on that. Like people can show me that there's delay, and I'm just saying like I don't remember that. I remember the game working. I don't know if this has anything to do with the fact that I was playing it on the 360.
It most likely was, dude, because the 360 had terrible original Xbox compatibility. Even with the games that were like you could officially buy, them shits didn't fucking work.
Yeah, like
Have you ever seen Crash Twinsanity on Xbox 360? That shit is garbage.
it is hot trash, dude.
And the game is already unfinished, so like,
Yeah.
holy shit, what the hell did
How
you
do you-
guys do?
How do you fuck up an already fucked up game, man?
It's like, I played Anniversary Collection on the GameCube. I used another controller because we're not going to sit there and demand that I play a 2D platformer on a GameCube controller. You're not doing that to me. And they swapped B and A around. B is jump and fucking A is like attack. It's like, no!
Come on, man. Big button has to be the attack button.
Like what you're saying now, just like you say it was even worse on a 360. I'm just saying like, no. In fact, when my batteries on the 360 died, I just simply put the disc in my original Xbox and played it that way. Because I had both, and it was still just fine. Like here's what I say I would like to try. If I can, okay, I'll buy a new original Xbox because I still have my 360 behind me. It's still in my thing with my sadly dead PS3. And I'm going
that happened. I just want to be. I'm
my
curious.
nephew. Okay, so off topic.
Mine is on death's door.
No. Off topic. It was what I'm about to explain to you. It's going to probably be the most depressing story you hear of why my PS3 died in the first place.
Thank God my shit's still around.
You put a cookie in the disk drive.
Oh no. So he and my brother.
Shut up.
Me and my brother were in here playing the demo for Fancy Pants Adventures on the PS3. Like we just have a real good time, but then like we wanted to play Scott Pilgrim versus the World because so unplug it, unhook it from the TV. We get everything moving. I sit on my bed. My nephew walks into my room.
Puts a cookie in the disk drive.
Oh, shut up!
Shut up!
Walks into my room. We say hi. I don't let him touch my game system anymore. Because the last time I let him touch anything, he broke my copy of Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox 360.
Damn, you should have just shot the kid before you got in.
Okay, because again, here's why I'm more PlayStation than Xbox anyway. You also get this explanation. Xbox controllers need batteries. I didn't have batteries. I had portable charger. I plugged in portable charger into 360, played it that way, so that way didn't need to play for batteries, you know? My nephew wants to play the game. I'm like, okay, I'll be nice uncle here. You can play Red Dead Redemption. He sees the cord. Okay, my nephew is smart enough, at least at this age, he was smart enough that he could unhook. I don't know where he learned this from either. He could unhook my Xbox 360, plug it into the goddamn TV, his damn self. I don't know where he learned it from, but I know he's smart enough to know where cars are and how long they are. So if he was smart enough to do that, he's smart enough to know don't back up. What does he do? He backs all the way up, and it knocks over the Xbox. I knew the Xbox was fine, but I knew what wasn't fine because Xbox 360 suck. Because if you move your Xbox while there's a game inside, it's gone. It is
That's
gone.
how my
Oh,
copy of
good
Dragon
God.
Ball Z Burst Limit got fucked, and I still have that disc. I still have that case. I stare at that thing and I cry because
You want to
Dragon Ball
play
Z
that
Burst
shit?
Limit is my favorite Dragon Ball game. I love that game so much. It is the one game that introduced me to almost every single fucking popular story beat that is fucking Dragon Ball Z. Like, holy shit.
You have Burst Limit. I got fucking Budokai 1.
Okay.
See, my
After,
dad knew he had dumbass kids in the house, so he always got everything digitally.
so, okay, many
Smart
years
man.
for that. All right. Funny enough, this is around a time where I was like really trying to beat Sonic Adventure 2. I was at the last story, so this makes it even worse. I put it on my bed because safe place to put it. Because all we had in my room, I didn't have. Excuse me. The desk that I have now was not in here at the time. So like this desk now is a blessing. I can put all my game systems here. It'll be just fine. All I had in my room to like sit my game systems on was like a very stupid like speaker for a DJ set my dad bought me that I never used because I never had the actual chance to use it. Because when I did, I just made people angry. Because the music too loud. I was just like, oh, so you do not want me to do this? You didn't buy me headphones so I could just do it by myself. So like I just kept it on.
Like,
So
you got headphones now. Can you do it now, or is it gone?
it's gone. He sold
Shit.
it like
Shit. Shit. Freeze. Shit.
Oh my
he
god.
sold it. And when I put my PlayStation 3 on my bed, my nephew, I don't know how we didn't even stop. I don't know how we didn't notice this at all. Like I don't even know how my brother didn't notice because my nephew was to my back. My brother was on the side of me. I don't know how he didn't see this. My nephew gets on my bed and he sees his PlayStation 3 for some fucking reason. He decides to stand on top of it and do a backflip on it.
Okay.
What?
Okay, so like, is this cousin still alive?
This is
Nephew.
Yes, he's still alive.
Damn, what a shame.
Punch the shit.
Damn.
Okay.
What a shame. Would
Yo, when I
it
told
would
you,
be a bigger shame if he was gone.
like after I kicked him out my room, because you spank him on the ass, you kick him out the room, you tell his parents why, my sister, like yeah, he did this. Okay, me and my brother, we stopped all plans. We hit the thing back up. Froze. It was gone. Let's go. And after that, like I had to always do some super because like it didn't work, but it worked if you know what I mean. Like it would freeze sometimes, other times it wouldn't.
Basically, what you did is you had to give it a slap in the ass to make sure it would
Oh, I
fucking
had to give it the slap, the knee, the punch, the orbs, the throw to the walls, put it at the air conditioner, and let the air conditioner cool the insides of it if I really, really wanted to guarantee a long session.
Ultra.
Holy shit.
You're better than me. I nearly killed my sister.
Ultra.
Shit.
Yeah.
I would have thrown the kid out the window.
Ultra. I got something- Ultra, I got something for you.
What? I knew I was Spider Man. Sick of it.
You know what's funny?
Get away.
Ultra, you try to turn on that PS3. All you hear in the background is Sonic's CD. Oh.
I wish that was that, so that I can say I have like a one of a kind PlayStation that since it's broken, all I can do is like play the Sonic CD, fucking weird laugh shit. Right? No. Luckily, all the negative stuff. No, it just kind of actually worked, and the PlayStation 3 worked, and like I could successfully say that I was able to play the entirety of the Ezio trilogy on that goddamn PS3, along with the entirety of Assassin's Creed 4 and the entirety of Assassin's Creed 3. I don't know why I was able to do that, but it just worked.
Right.
It was very annoying, but I persevered and I beat those games, which is why when I touched those games, I was just like, oh yeah, I love these games, but god damn, am I tired of playing it. Whew.
Oh boy.
Whew. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the story of sad PS3.
I drop kicked that
I
character.
gotta bring this up, but like, and this isn't an issue because either way we're talking a lot about shit and mostly ports. But I mean, it makes sense though because none of like only Red owns 3D All Stars. I was gonna say like it's funny because like this shit's called 3D All Stars, but we've been mostly talking about just ports in general. Not that I'm bitching, of course, because I prefer this chats in general.
Okay.
But I gotta say real quick that if we're gonna talk about ports and shit, the Dead Rising ports from 1 to fucking Off the Record because there ain't no 3 coming out because Microsoft's stingy.
Port for-
Fucking
Okay, I'm going to give you very quick overview of these ports. Dead Rising 1 port. If your controller sucks, don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
bother. Don't
Yeah.
bother. Buy it on PC.
you
Have fun. Don't bother with.
You need a brand new controller because that dodge roll shit will fuck you up.
But
But I haven't had an issue with it in a
I
while.
beat it. That shit is ass. Okay, Dead Rising 2 and the off the record works just fine. It's fun.
Yeah, because their dodge roll is not based around flicking it twice. It's based around clicking.
Like, also, I will also say this: Dark Souls Remastered, another port. just slide
The
that
PC
in.
port?
No. Fuck the PC port though. But anyway.
I have the PC port. It's absolutely terrible.
Okay, Dark Souls Remastered for the PS4. If you have a garbled controller and that goes in weird ways, it's functional so long as you know how to dodge roll. If you don't, I'm sorry for your loss because you're never beating that game.
Yo, unless like the thing is for me with the Dead Rising ports was like the first one. The first game functions pretty good for the most part, but there are some issues that, specifically texture-wise. When you go to
Off the record.
Alfresca Plaza, no, off the record, the first one. If you go to Alfresca Plaza and look in your inventory, for some reason there's some weird flickering going around with the icons of the items on the top right corner. For some reason, in that mall specifically, the icon will fuck up. Also, this isn't a thing. This has also been a thing since the original. Every time you use a blunt object, there'll always be like that 1 second freeze, and then it'll go back into the game. I don't know if this, it hasn't been really much of an issue because for the most part, I use bladed weapons and I don't really use blunt weapons. So like katana, swords, and even the mini chainsaw.
Okay, so you do use weapons. Come on, mannequin torso.
Oh, shut up. The 2x4 is where it's at, man. You can find that anywhere. You can pretty much use it, and it's quick as fuck, man. But like, anything that's like a blunt object will automatically like freeze the game for a second. But that's always been an issue in the game. Again, if you're playing it on PS4 and you have a really crappy controller, you might as well get a new one. Turn that shit in, get a new one, and then probably just wait for a bit because for
you're talking about Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't here for a little bit. I had to go.
Oh, it's alright. But like when it comes to like Dead Rising 2 and Off the Record, I have not seen that many issues with it. It runs perfectly fine in my opinion.
But,
The only thing I've noticed though while playing, well, actually scratch that. I got an issue for fucking one. One fucking crashes if you fuck up something slightly. I did 7-Day Survivor. You can ask Red. He was in call when I was doing this. I was trying to do the 4-Day Survivor shit. I was trying to get to 7-Day. I made it to halfway. What happens? Blue screen of death!
Was that the one that you were doing when I was playing Battlefront?
Yes!
Yeah.
I almost broke my controller. Had I been by myself, I would have broken my window. That shit is annoying. I spent the entirety of... Okay, to give you guys a good example of why this shit's annoying, you have to spend 7 real in-day hours playing this shit non-stop.
What?
And you have to make sure that you're playing it and you keep yourself alive. I spent the entirety of my morning from 8 to nearly... Wasn't it 11 when I fucking almost freaked out? No, when I was freaking out, it was like... It was either 11 or 12 when I freaked the fuck out. That should give you an estimate of how long I've been up fucking trying to get this thing done. Actually, scratch that. No, I was awake at 7. I started at 7 and ended at 11. Ironically enough.
7-11.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by stuff.
Fucking... I encountered crashes in that. That's the thing. But it hasn't even been bad. It was like the one time it's ever crashed on me. For the second game, I think it crashed on me once, but I don't even remember how. But I don't
Okay.
really give a shit about it too much.
Can I take the mic for that?
Yeah.
So Dead Rising 2 crashed on me about 6 times.
Yeah. For
And,
me, I got lucky.
There was some shit had happened. I was trying to rescue this one guy. For some reason, I was being dragged to the middle of the fucking world, and then all the way to the back alley. I was running right, but I was being dragged into this fucking thing as if I was being fucking taken to Brazil, and I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fight it. I was trying to roll out of it, and then me rolling made me have vulnerability, and then I just kept getting dragged into it, and then the game just crashed. And it's like, I don't know what just happened
I got
in the last 10 minminutes, but I recorded that and I put that on my fucking Twitter.
on my YouTube channel. I also recorded this happened as well. Again, we were playing Red and I were playing Dead Rising 2 again. We were playing multiplayer. We were gonna fight Antoine, the psycho chef boss, and while the cutscene was playing in the background, he saw a chair fly. That would be the second time I've seen it happen before. The first time is on my YouTube channel. Back when I used to own the game physically, I remember I was playing, and while I was walking up to Chef Antoine's place, I know where you just see a chair fly across the fucking world and hit one of the umbrellas that was at the table. I recorded it, posted it on YouTube. I still am confused how that happened. One thing I gotta point out about that port though, I don't know if it's just us though, but it can't be us because you and I played off the record. We never really had online problems unless it was your internet dying on you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just the ports themselves, but I encounter a little bit more issues with I don't know if it requires a lot more for it to function properly, but I encounter more issues with the internet, like on multiplayer, than I did with fucking the PS3 version of Off the Record.
Come on, man! Don't you know that it's the critically acclaimed prequel to the famous video game Bird versus Camel? You know, it's just umbrella versus chair. You know, this time they had to use real life physics because games didn't exist, so they had imagination.
Boomer's explanation.
I'll be back.
All right. But yeah, that's like my thing about those ports. Like, for the most part, they're fine. But I've noticed a lot of issues with the net code because for some reason he and I usually get into a lot of issues, and he's gotten better internet. Yet I still encounter some issues, like him zooming across the world for like a moment and then coming back to me.
Ironically enough, I haven't seen it on my end.
Yeah, it's weird. And it can't be just the internet because again, we played off the record and we didn't have that much of an issue unless his internet died.
Yeah, it's like quite literally. It's just like there was no lag, there was no anything like that. It's just my internet cut out because I was using because of like the method I was using, and that's just kind of like how it works. But literally everything else was just fine.
Yeah, the port itself for the most part is fine.
It's just it rivals Nintendo 64 frame rates. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest.
I don't know. But for the most part, I think those ports are fine. They could use a little more tweaking, but you know, for literally the price that they were at, separately, by the way, even separately, they were still a pretty decent price. That's $20 for each game, and usually they go on sale like crazy now because of
okay,
COVID.
so it's like natively, the Dead Rising triple pack is $60, but they go on sale like every 1-2 months.
And even more now because of COVID. So their fucking pricing usually goes down to like $30.
God damn it,
So like they usually you can cop those for like half the price, like most of the time, and like I think I got it for like both of them for like 30, all three of them for like 30 if I recalled right.
No. You got all of them for $15.
Yeah,
all of them were 5 separately on sale.
Yeah, so like literally you can cop those for even less.
Yeah.
It was like usually their pricing goes down the shitter a lot because they're not that expensive and they're not really losing a lot of money. They were mostly expecting their money to be made when they first released them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it doesn't bug me to buy fucking Dead Rising 1 all over again. I may own it on PC because I lost the PS4 version for money reasons. I don't mind it, to be honest. Besides, you know, it doesn't hurt to have more than one copy of Dead Rising 1. I mean, I already own it on the Wii, which that version is interesting to say the least. No fucking jumping, and plays like Resident Evil 4.
It's like one thing I appreciate about like the port. You know, finally. Okay, so how long has like this thing been recording for? Because
We've been recording this shit for almost like an hour. It's 55, so I might end it soon.
All right, I wanted to bring up like something. It's just like there was a weird fascination with certain ports when it came to the Wii. The biggest example that I can think of is Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed, the Wii and PS2 versions were entirely different from the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. They had almost the same levels, the same story, but they had entirely different content, and it was something that was like very interesting. Oh wait, okay, hold on. I'm sorry, I stopped the conversation. I'm playing Mario Sunshine, and one thing I forgot, I can't do a certain level because I haven't unlocked like Yoshi in the overworld. That's when it starts to pop up. It's kind of like how when you get in like 64, when you get like certain things, they pop up in other levels, like the block, the wing cap block, and the invisible block, and the
What the fuck happened to my... Oh god, these kids have been tearing up this thing.
the invisible block, the wing cap, and the metal block. You have to like pop up. It's like, oh, I've been doing all of like the Mario levels in order, but literally what you're supposed to do is like you're supposed to go to the level that like the world map introduces you to. But I was like, hey, let me get them all out the way, and it's like, okay, I can't do that just yet because I have to like get Yoshi. It's not there yet.
Speaking of Mario, that fucking that Mario fan project dude fucking replied to me again on Twitter. He's still back at it, but now he's with his Switch port of the mod.
Oh really?
Yeah, like, dude, you're not winning over anybody. I don't care.
Okay, for context, there was a guy who got into a debacle with Louis on Twitter, because that always happens with him, despite the fact that he was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get into arguments.
Yeah, it's a lot less frequent than it used to be. Thankfully, I make sure to stay off Twitter for good now. I make sure that like I limit my shit to like once every week, and even then it's like it's like window shopping at this point.
Okay. It's just like, so like to bring the topic back to like Mario 3D All Stars temporarily, considering the fact that I appreciate what the entire, you know, thing has been going. During the release, during like the announcement of the release of this game, there's been nothing but fucking controversy regarding like how it's been dealt with, like the limited release and like the entire thing of like, you know, whether or not it's like actual ports or remakes or remasters, and people have the conversation about it once again for what it actually is, etc. Me, I was extremely excited because it's like I have an excuse to play these games again. I was like, hey, maybe if they tune up the range in Mario 64, I'll be able to play it a lot easier on the Virtual Console version. I was wrong, because in my opinion, Mario 64 controls terribly and I don't like it very much. Or the original version of the game. I prefer the DS version. That is where my heart goes. Okay, I love that version of the game. That is the one that I want.
Oh, god damn, that was loud.
Yeah, he opened the book and he said it, but it's just like, that is the one that I want. That is the one that I love. That is the one that I grew up playing. The original version of the game controls very poorly, and it's just annoying. Like, holy shit, I don't understand what the hell is going on with like a lot of bullshit in that fucking game. It doesn't feel right to control, since they didn't have like, you know, analog control until they got to like the GameCube with an actual C stick, not C buttons, you know.
Yeah.
They actually got to do whatever. And to be honest, I feel like the GameCube is just like a revised, like the GameCube's controller is specifically just a revised version of like what the hell
the N64
was supposed to be. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, god damn it, dude.
You know, honestly, like during this controversy, it was just like, it's annoying because like, here's the thing. I understood what people were talking about. That's fine. Here's the thing. A lot of the porting though, is just a port of the games, and they're in a compilation. Three games. I understand 64, the anger towards 64. That's fine because they released it beforehand and different things. But the thing is, they haven't released Sunshine, they haven't released Galaxy outside of the fucking Wii and GameCube. So, we literally, this is our first time we're getting a proper re-release of these two games. 64 is being bundled with them, you know, the one that everybody fucking likes. The thing is, though, is that there's this one dude, well, actually, no, I'll get to him, but there's the thing that annoys me is that, everybody's acting fucking crazy about it. Now you have the people who defend everything Nintendo does, but I've rarely encountered them. And then there's the people who are fucking spazzes who get angry if you even slightly show any form of excitement towards it. For example, I saw this one Instagram account on YouTube, Instagram, goddamn, on Instagram that was talking about, hey, I can't wait to I can't wait to play Mario 3D All-Stars. He made a post about it, nothing more. It was just a meme. That was it. It was just a meme making fun of people losing their shit over the fact that, like, you know, there was people who just want to enjoy the compilation. And then everybody in the comment section, dude, how can you support Nintendo? They're just an awful company, dude. You should never fucking support them. You should always just fucking play the games on the PC port. Yeah, you always play the PC version because they're better and because they're free and all that. And you should fucking ignore Nintendo. Don't fucking do that. What's wrong with you? It's just a shitty port. And it's like, the guy just simply said, I want to play the game. And then, like, everyone's losing their fucking minds. And, like, and the thing is, like, this goes back to this asshole. Granted, I'm glad that he's promoting a fan mod because I've heard from Rev that they are perfectly nice people that were willing to help out if you showed, like, you know, if you asked them.
Yeah, I wanted to like take the vote on that. So like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's just like I won't say what it is because you know Nintendo watches everywhere. But it's just like it's like a fan-made port of Mario 64 completely remade up for the PC, and people have known about it for a little bit, but it's only continued to like gain development and time. The more people have actually like you know gotten to you know it as a game, and basically people have been using that for various mods. They've made the game run at 60 FPS, they've made the game run in full widescreen, they've made the camera better, they've made the control better, they've made literally everything better about the game. It's just, you know, the same game that everybody used to love, but you can just play it with, you know, no modern inconveniences. And it was honestly really, really cool to see what the hell happened. I wanted to play it before All Stars came out, but what happened is that I wasn't able to. I have a very, very lame computer, okay? I don't know what the hell this thing is. I know what this thing is capable of, but I also don't at the same time, considering the fact that this thing is extremely inconsistent. I can run old as fuck PC games, but I wasn't able to run any version of the PC port of Mario 64, and this thing is so stupid. I should have been able to run it. Like the people in the support server said, it's just like they weren't even angry at me, like, you know, like, oh, you're wasting my time, whatever. They were more bewildered. It's like, you really can't run the game? I have no idea what the hell is going on, but you know, sorry that happened. Hopefully you'll be able to get a new PC, like, you know, soon, so you can actually play the game. And that's what I'm gonna do, because when I get a new PC, I'm gonna play the shit out of that fucking version of the game, because you know. I need to find something to salvage from Mario 64 because I love the DS version, but I don't like the original version of the game. It could be like, if anybody's familiar with it, Video Game Donkey made a video about something where like he was pointing out that like, hey, you know, he's like, GoldenEye fucking sucks, this game sucks, etc. There's so much things that you can't do in this one. And what happened is that he, after he had his gags or whatever and jokes, he made highlight of, you know, he made highlight of a special either port of the game or it was emulation configured to run with a mouse and keyboard. I don't know if it was a PC port or emulation, but basically
mouse and keyboard. I played it.
Okay, it was emulation, and he basically configured it to use a mouse and keyboard. He was able to find all sorts of crazy cool intricacies of the game, all the cool Easter eggs, etc. You know, and everything. And he was having a ton time with the game. It was the original game, but he wasn't playing it by normal means. He was just playing it with like better controls, and you know, that's how he had fun. And that's basically what's gonna happen to me when I'm playing like this better version of the game. It's just like it has the same game's contents, but things are just better. You know, it doesn't feel like, you know, whack as hell. Because in my opinion, Mario 64 feels whack. Like I don't think the game is like terrible. I just don't like playing the original version of the game. It just makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Well, that actually goes back to the thing. So, Red asked for help and all that, and so I was looking through the comments because somebody was like, explaining shit. They were just like, they were excited, and there was this one guy who just kept making announcements to this fan game. Which, by the way, good job, asshole. You're pretty much putting light. Yeah, good thing. It's like you're putting light to it, which is nice, but it's also putting it a big target on it by Nintendo.
Yeah.
And
It's like Nintendo takes down fanboys very fast. So if you say the name of it at all, they are looking. They are looking. If you say
not only that,
call,
he was literally posting link after link after link after link of the video,
it's
and it
just
wasn't
you're
even
not
just like
supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that.
yeah, and he kept doing that, and like he kept saying, well, why are you gonna buy this when this port exists and all that? And I literally made a comment saying something around the lines of, because I have to say it, because this people really need to stop acting like everyone can do this. You can't just expect everyone to drop a shitload of money just to get a really good PC, just to play a port just to play a emulated version of a fucking game. No one has the money to drop that much just to play one emulated game. And like literally the guy kept going on and on. It's like, oh well, you can play it on a bad PC, and that's when that hit Red. That was like, okay, that's bullshit, because I kept doing it, and I even gave the explanation. He's like, oh, but you can do it with the Mac version. It's like, dude, do you not get it? He can't fucking run it. And somebody else who I follow came in, basically said, I tried running that shit on my old PC. That didn't work. It was like, oh, well, you could do this. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, on my old PC, if it didn't work then, it won't work now. Besides, I don't have it anymore.
It's like the reason why like I specifically annoyed me because he told me about that entire argument. It's like this was after I had spent 2 to 4 hours compiling 3 different versions of one 1996 game, only for them to have all of their own issues and ports on my terrible laptop. I'm not gonna blame the project. I'm just gonna blame my laptop. But it's just like it's the point where it's like he's making it seem like this is easy for anybody to do. No, it's not. Not to mention the fact that assuming I'm even familiar with anything, I didn't know how to compile anything regarding any port or regarding any PC. I don't know about programming or whatever. It was like very light programming. It was basically just like having a bunch of configs and basically just putting it, etc. It was a very simplistic process, but holy shit, that's asking a lot out of people who just want to play a game, you know?
That's where I got into, like, that's where people started even hopping in with me. They said, you're asking a lot of people to do all this shit just to play one game. Already, that's pushing it, because most people can't be fucked to do that. And it's like, oh, well, it's easy in doing this and that. And it's like, no, again, you're missing the fucking point. Most people aren't fucked, or like can't be fucked to, actually properly, configure a game onto their computer. Not to mention, they don't have the money to drop for a decent fucking computer to play for one game. And everybody kept going on me. They were like, well, I can run it on my phone. And here's where I have to say, by the way, if you're one of these smartasses that keeps saying, well, I can run it on my Android, I want to have a simple talk. Let's just take for a moment. Why in the hell do you want to play a 3D platformer on your phone? A 3D platformer where you need to see everything on a tiny ass screen with fucking jank ass controllers. Why in the fuck you can do that? And whenever you bring that up, say the famous line. Say the line, Bart.
But the topic was if you could run it.
There it is. That's their always go-to excuse when you catch them in that fucking loop. They always use that when, even though the conversation boiled down to, why would you do that? It's not if you can do it, why would you do it? And like, every single time I encounter these jackoffs, they say the same shit.
It's just like, here's the thing, it's just like, and it's like, look, there are many different ways of doing it, but it's like, compiling like the idea of compiling a version of a game for something else, people can do that, but it just depends on who else wants to do it. There are a few people who do this stuff, but they don't really complain about it or get mad about it or anything else like that. It's more of like, hey, this is how I play the game, etc. I'm making a video, this is how it works, you should check this out, It's just like, most people, it's like there are a lot of people who are like saying it's like, oh, you can emulate it on PC. And then there are like a majority of those who are just mad that this game is only available for a limited time because it gives people the impression that it doesn't really want to preserve their old data. for me, I understand why it's limited edition only because it's like, hey, you know, it's the anniversary of the series. They want to make sure it counts, etc. But you know, for most people
I
who are like
understand why
upset
people are
with like
pissed
the
about
way,
the limited.
but I understand considering the fact that people were like very upset with the way Nintendo does stuff because all they do is take down ROMs. Like quite literally, all the big Nintendo sites and all the big ROM sites, a lot of them you can't get actual, you know, Mario sites from. There are some, but I'm not gonna say any of them because I don't want them to go away as soon as I said it in this random podcast that I didn't really expect anybody to hear.
Yeah, let's just keep them on the hush hush. Otherwise, but better be careful because them Nintendo ninjas will come in and torture us for it.
Yeah, I don't really want that.
Yeah,
But,
So yeah, can I say one thing?
Yeah, what is it, Ren?
Yeah, sure. I would play a game on my phone, to be honest. But here's one thing: phones are like getting so powerful to the point where they're like better than every single low-end PC. If you have like any of the recent Samsung phones, they're probably better than your standard Mac.
And I will say I have one of those. Like for example, my laptop can't do a lot of things. Like it's even iffy on PlayStation 1 emulation, no matter how hard I configure it. It definitely cannot run Dolphin. It definitely cannot run Wii games. It definitely can't do any of that stuff. But on my phone, I can do those and more. Like quite literally, fucking like Ultra over here, which has like a super high-end PC. He wasn't able to get Mega Man X4 or no Mega Man 8 properly running with a SATA emulator on his PC. Those things require a lot of shit to properly run. You know, it's because either because like it's. I'm gonna assume it's because not a lot of people are actually working on Saturn emulation to care, so they don't properly configure it for like proper devices. But my phone, I was able to make it through a majority of Mega Man 8 just fine. And since I used to emulate games on my phone, you know, I had no problem with it. Like if I wanted to, I could, you know, I could like play Mario 64 with the PC port, and honestly, if I really feel like it, I'll try to. But one thing I do, I want a fucking, I want to get a Chromecast so I can like assign my Android's screen to my TV because my PC isn't good enough for BlueStacks.
I wanna point one last thing into the thing before we end this podcast. Everybody, like you know how I mentioned that there was the people who were like, oh well, I can run it on my phone and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, well then there's also the people who are like, well I have a shitty PC and I can run it. And it's like, no, people who say they have a shitty PC, they usually have an Alienware.
Yeah.
Or they usually have a computer that's just, it's all it is just they have an outdated graphics card. They say that, but they have like these really high expensive ass PCs that can run multiple games with no issue, and they just say, oh well I have a shitty PC. In reality what they mean is they just don't have the newest model. That's it. And then like I remember, and this is like one of those things where like this guy actually used a political political debate tactic in order to completely null and void my fucking point.
Oh, Louis.
Yeah.
So, on the topic of low-end PCs again, my mother such a bad PC. I had to use it for a little bit. It only has 32 gigabytes of space. What type of computer only has 32 gigabytes of space?
God damn,
but
what are you
outside of that,
Yeah, it was terrible. It mortified me.
What are you using, a goddamn college student's PC? What the fuck?
But on top
My
of that,
PC's not even that bad.
let me
Bro.
tell you how unoptimized Net64 feels to work sometimes. No, not Net64. Freaking
Project 64.
Yeah, Project 64. It feels so unoptimized. My beefy computer can run every latest game at almost the highest frame rates because now the graphics card is getting a little bit low because like we're getting to big boy territory again. But like almost the highest frame rate available in the highest graphical setting. But I play Mario 64 and like the game lags.
Fuck.
My mom's computer ran Mario 64 on Project 64 better than my beefy computer. And that thing's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's again, it's just like people like, you know, to go back to that quick thing, thing I mentioned was like, they were like, oh well, you know, I have a shitty PC and I could totally run that. It's like I pointed out and I said, look, dude, it's like because he assumed that I had a shitty PC, but I said, bold of you to assume that I have the shitty PC. I even replied, I was like, dude, I'm talking about my friend's PC. I just mentioned that. How the fuck did you get my PC into the mix? I can run it. I just don't want to. And he's like, I'm more explaining to the fact that not a lot of people can do it. I'm speaking for my friend's behalf. And he's like, well, that's always the problem with Twitter. And it's like, it's clearly obvious that at this point I caught him on his bullshit, because now it wasn't a case of, oh, it was like I was wrong. It was more of, oh, I was wrong because I was doing a quote unquote Twitter tactic. It was like, well, that's the problem with Twitter. They speak up for people who don't need to be spoken up for unless they have to speak. And
Which
it's
was
like,
funny as shit because he was talking about me and I was in call when the entire thing happened.
yeah,
You
and
wouldn't
it's
know
like,
this, but that's the thing. You wouldn't know.
yeah, and the thing is, it's like, it's. I was just sitting there like, dude, what kind of reply is that? You just admit that you're fucking wrong. Just admit that you literally, most people can't fucking run the PC. And like, there's so many people like, oh well, excuse me, fucking. There were so many people like, well, just buy a Wii for it. And it's like, first of all, try encountering a Wii for a pretty cheap price. Everyone keeps saying that you can find those. Not when scalpers exist, man. Second of all, try fucking modding the shit. Somebody who has no fucking knowledge of technology, try modding your shit. I dare you. Do it in front of me. I want to sit here and I want to sit here. I want to sit here and watch this person, Mr. Bob, who's working at a 9-to-5 job, who has no idea what technology is or how it functions, who just wants to play Mario 64. I want to see him sit here and try to mod a fucking Wii. Yeah, I know that you can get that shit done with tutorials, but you're asking a lot just to run one fucking game.
The average Mexican dad. Let's just be real.
It's stupid. But that's pretty much just how I feel about it. It's fucking dumb.
Also, if somebody tells you to get a Wii, then it's just like, by that
You
time you're
automatically
not.
lost.
It's like if somebody's telling you to get the Wii, you're not playing the modified version of the game. You're just playing Virtual Console.
Yeah, it's just like
I literally said I wanted to play the port because I wouldn't play the Virtual Console port. The Virtual Console port is fine. It just doesn't work properly with the GameCube controller.
I like I said, it's just if they tell you to get a Wii, they already lost. Anyways, that's pretty much just.
It's just like, honestly, I got lucky because most people misplaced their Wii's because they keep working for the most part. Okay, well, mine kept working. I have maybe 1 or 2 with maybe 3.
My Wii functions.
Like,
I
hey,
just need to.
the Wii's just don't work. A lot of people are just like,
Wii
oh hey,
functions,
I
I
didn't
need
have
a
a
controller,
cord,
though. I need a new controller. That's my issue. That's it about it.
You want one? We got 5 over here.
Yo, send it over here. I'll give you my address. I need a new controller, shit. But I think I think it's a pretty good way to end because we recorded for an hour and 17 minutes, and thankfully I can actually hear my voice this time. Well, that was a good recording. I say this is the end. We'll do more podcasts now. I finally got off my ass and actually got to do these things a lot more. With me, this was a pretty good podcast. I've been your host, Lord Louis. You can follow me on the links below in the description. Also, shout outs to my Twitch account at twitch.tv.
Nah, go to my Twitch
Lord_Louis29. Please follow me. I'm close to 50 followers. Anyways, here's my here I am Lord Louis. I'm here with my guest or co-host Red, Kaya, Ultra, and Rin.
Yeah, not follow my Twitter.
Such a bland ending with the.
Yeah, it's fucking. Hey guys, how should I say goodbye? Fucking. About to make some noises to challenge the alpha male of the group.